Do you know that a dairy cow is not just any cow? It's an investment. One wrong choice can cost you years of losses. So let's break it down together. Welcome. Make sure you watch till the end and learn something about selecting an animal.
Dreams take wings and learn.
Hello guys, welcome back to Farm with Maxwell. Yeah, if you are new to this YouTube channel, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment. As I told you earlier that we are now looking for being monetized. This is not my channel, this is our channel, because this is an educative channel that if you are an animal lover, if you have passion about animals, we will learn and learn. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night. It depends on the time that you're watching this video. So today I'm going to dive in a topic that we call how to select a dairy cow. So I'll tell you different ways on how to select a dairy cow, and actually I'll start with something about breed selection. After breed selection, we'll talk about general appearance, that is physical appearance. I'll talk about the reproductive issue, that is reproductive health. I'll talk about feeding and management. I'll talk about age. I'll talk about mothering ability and some other traits that actually about production traits. So let me just put to the back camera, then we just take one of the animal, we place it somewhere so that we can learn. Yeah, remember to watch this video till the end, because actually what I'm lacking as per now is being monetized, because the subscribers we have achieved, so we now need to get watching hours. This is not a small journey, yeah? Because I started this YouTube channel a month ago and now it is just doing great, and I have to appreciate you guys. But make sure that when you're watching this kind of a content, you like, then you can share to your friends so that we can keep on learning. So because today I'm going to dive in a topic on how to select breed of an animal. What do I mean? Yeah, when you want to venture to this animal thing, yeah, remember you are in a business. This is a business setup. So once you want to venture in this kind of a business, you have to make sure that you pick the correct breed of an animal. You pick the correct animal that can adapt to that environment. You have to get a good quality animal in terms of production, reproduction, age, and I will tell you which age of the animal do I recommend, which breed of an animal do I recommend in your farm, yeah? Because if you want breed for butterfat content, I'll tell you this is what you have to do. If you want a breed for milk production, I'll tell you this is a good breed for an animal. So what I'm going to do, we'll start with selection of breed. So what I'm going to do as per now, we are going to put one animal. I'll just select any animal randomly that satisfied what I need when I'm talking about this venturing to this farming. Yeah? Let me just put the back camera, then we take one animal here. Yeah, this is our farm. This farm is located in Uasin Gishu County, somewhere called Soy sub-county. So if you are interested in knowing or learning about animals, you can just call me, then I can plan. Yeah, I've just came here for benchmarking, but because I usually tell people that I started as a shamba boy in this farm. Yeah, this is the farm that actually transformed me from where I was to here. Remember, I'm a YouTuber from Kuria, Nyabuhanse, so that means I just came here in the last 4 years and I learned a lot of things about animals and animal keeping I'm now passionate about animals. I'm now transferring this knowledge to the community just for free. That's why I opened this YouTube channel, so that when somebody asks me a question, I can just direct you. You can go and appreciate what we are now doing in terms of livestock keeping. Yeah, so I'll just select one of the animals here, so that I can just enclose it or restrain it very well, so that we can learn about the age, about the breed selection, some traits for production. When I'm talking maybe about Ayrshire, I'm just showing you Ayrshire. I think I'll select an Ayrshire because I'm thinking that an Ayrshire will be a very good breed, yeah? But I don't see it. Okay, there is an Ayrshire that was here, but it has been taken for drying, yeah? It is on the upper side, yeah? When I'm talking about the upper side, let me show you the upper farm, yeah? That's the upper farm, the other place that you can see people are coming from there, yeah? There is there is where we have the dry cows and the in calf that are almost due, the heifers, all of them, they're upper side there. But here we only have the milkers. So because I have a script where I've talked about different breeds of animals that are found in this farm, where even the Ayrshire that I wanted to talk about, you can get it there. I have a script for breeds of animal, and if you want to know the breeds of animal, you can get it there. Please just watch other video, so that we can just learn. And also for me, I can get monetized, because I've really talked a lot of things about these animals. So guys, so I'll just take one of the animal inside, so that we can learn about that. I'll show you good traits, how you can check for good traits. Remember, genetics in animal keeping is the way to go, because you can take a bad genetics, then it gives you problem. But I usually advise people to get good genetics animal. So I'll take this, we call this animal smart, yeah? Let me show you this smart. Yeah, this animal is called smart. So I'll take it there, so that we can learn about this animal. Look the way this animal appears. Yeah, look at the way the posture, the legs, the strength of the legs, the conformity of this animal. Remember, these are exotic breed of animal, and basically like this one is a Frisian. So I'll have to put it inside there, so that we can learn about it. Go, let it go. This animal is one of the good animals here in terms of milk production, and in terms of actually it likes people, yeah? That's why I've chosen it. So let me just put this animal inside, so that we can learn about it. Twende. Let me put this animal inside, so that we can learn about this specific animal. Yeah, this is the animal that we are going to learn about it, yeah? So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the breed selection. So what I can just tell people, that make sure that you choose breeds known for high production, because I told you guys, this venturing in this farming is all about business, yeah? And when you are venturing, at the end of the day, what you need from business is profit. And achieving this profit, you have to get the best genetics. And getting the best genetics, that means in terms of production, you have to do something good about production. So when I'm talking about this, actually about breed selection, I told you that you have to look at breed in terms of milk production, in terms of adaptability to your environment. Common dairy animals include, we have, because I told you that I have a script of dairy animal breeds in this farm, and which have just highlighted very well. So today I'm just going to just an overview. One of the animals that I discussed about is about Frisian, and apart from Frisian, we have Holstein Frisian. Yeah, I differentiated between Holstein Frisian and Frisian. Yeah, smart, relax. Smart wants to get out. So I talked about about Frisian and Holstein Friesians are good in terms of very high milk yield. Then I say that Jersey, they have high butter content in milk. And when I talked about, actually that's a balanced yield and adaptability. Another thing I talked about Guernsey and the brown Swiss, where I told you that these are moderate yielders and have good quality milk. So in terms of physical appearance, so I want to talk something about physical appearance. That's why I've presented this animal here. Let me just put the back camera. So when we look at this animal here, this is the physical appearance. When you look at it, it is very much appreciable. When we look at the udder, you see, this is the udder. This is what we can see here. This is the udder is going all around here until here. This udder is very large. You see the udder is large, and apart from large, it is symmetrical. So symmetrical just means that it is just it has been separated very well and firmly attached with the 4 functional teats. These are the 4 functional teats. Let me just put the camera here. These are the 4 functional teats. You can see we put the camera well. These are the 4 functional teats. So again, avoid pendulous udder or injured udder. What in terms of pendulous udder, there is a script that I had with one of my best friend in his channel describing that back in the village, people think the bigger the udder, that cow produces a lot of milk, but it is vice versa. So when I'm talking about pendulous udder, these are the loose udder, the big teats. Remember, when the animal has big teeth, you getting mastitis is very easy, because the broader the surface area, that means, okay, for that pendulous udder, so that means it is almost to the surface, and you know bacteria thrive well in the surface, and in terms of bacteria can actually attach themselves there easily because it has actually a large surface area, guys. So when you're selecting an animal, have this composition of the udder. Very good udder, and you can get actually things goes well. Another thing, you look at the teeth. Teeth are this thing. Let me just touch the teeth so that you can know. When I'm touching the teeth, this is what we call the teeth. These ones, this is the teeth that produces milk. When you're milking, you milk milk from the teeth. So when I'm talking about the teeth, make sure that are properly well spaced and not too close to each other. Like you can see, this one is wide apart, they're not close together. You see, this is one of the characteristics that somebody has to look. Another thing is about the body condition, like this animal, the way you can see it now, this animal specifically, in terms of body condition, it is neither too fat nor too thin. So that means moderate body condition score, which means actually the body condition score for this one is around around 4 out of 5, which is appreciable. Make sure that your animal a body condition of about 3 to 5, because this is the reason, over actually the fat animals, you get that in terms of fertility it becomes very poor. Thin animals, that means that animal has a lot of problems. Mostly the immunity is very low, so it has to be made such a way that it is hardy and immunity is very high. So don't fatten your animal, because I've done something about feeding your animal, and you have to feed your animal in accordance to the body weight so that you can achieve, as long as you have the maintenance and production you maintain constant, that's it. Remember, when you overfeed your animal, at the end of the day, that it will be out as actually as waste. The dung, cow dung, will be just here in the floor. You get that this floor will be having a lot of cow dung, because a lot of it has gone as waste, guys. So another thing I was to talk about is the legs. Look at these legs. Look the way these legs are positioned, and the hooves. You can really appreciate it. Has straight legs, strong pastern, and clean hooves, indicating good mobility. Yeah, you can see the way legs are very good and clean. Yeah, even the front feet. Yeah, you can see they look very good. Yeah, and very strong. Yeah, this animal can give you can stay in this farm for a longer duration, because in terms of body, in terms of leg, so that means very excellent. Another thing is about eyes and nose. So for eyes and nose, I'll use this animal here. Yeah, you can see the way eyes are bright, alert eyes, and moist. Clean nose indicates good health. Yeah? Because I don't want to disturb this animal, it can be afraid, then it even knocks at us here. Another thing that you have to look when selecting an animal is about milk production history. Yeah? What you should observe is about the previous lactation. How much milk was it I'm talking about the previous lactation, so that means what it was producing at the previous lactation. And another thing is average daily milk production, because an animal has to sustain itself in terms of production. So when you buy, so that means the cost of everything in that farm, yeah, your animal has to get it for that. So that means once you have an animal that you get a lot of milk, that is let's say 30 plus, you are good to go, because even you can leave your job so that you can venture in this farming, because it is able to sustain itself and you get profit. Another thing that I usually tell people to check when talking about milk production history is about the butterfat content and the protein content, if test records exist. Yeah, when you go to buy an animal, request actually for records. Yeah, proper record, because you get some farmers start to maybe creating records from the sky. Yeah, false record, but that's not the way. Tell somebody the truth about this record for this animal, because it's venturing to this animal keeping. We have at the end of the day appreciate and you sell quality animal. When you sell a quality animal, you can get a lot of reference. Yeah, because for me, I believe on quality, not the quantity. Like in this farm, I usually tell people this farm has an history of producing more than average production of 30 plus. Yeah, because a lot of animals here, they produce around 50, others 40. So at average, they take more. These are around 20 animals, but you get that they milk more than 600 liters of milk from only these animals. So that means in terms of milk production traits, excellent. Yeah. Another thing that I was actually about to talk about is calving interval. Yeah, because short intervals are ideal. What do I mean by the term that short intervals are ideal? When I'm talking about ideal short calving interval, this is what I mean. Yeah, this animal can become on heat after maybe around in the second month after giving birth. It can become on heat. So that means within a shorter duration, that means the fertility rate is good, and even the nutrition that we give this animal is excellent, so that they can become on heat faster, and then they give you a calf every year. Remember, the future of your farm is the the calves that you get here. When you get good calves, that means from the way how you select your semen. Yeah, remember we usually tell people to do what we call artificial insemination in terms of breeding. Don't use a bull. Okay, if you want to use a bull, use a certified bull in terms of a pedigree bull that actually satisfy all your needs, and make sure that you interchange those bulls actually after maybe a duration, so that you don't do what we call inbreeding. So I'm going to cover something about reproductive health. What do I mean by reproductive health? So ensure the cow calves regularly. When I'm talking about reproductive health, this is what I mean. Yeah? Reproductive health means that health of the reproductive system, that is the reproductive tract. So that means the uterus, the cervix, the entire thing should be very healthy. So with that, you can attain. You see that some people try to inseminate the animal they miss. So that's the issue about the reproductive health. Something like pyometra, metritis, those are reproductive health issues. This cow should not knock me here. Yeah. So ask about past calving problem or infertility, yeah? When you go to buy animals. Because for me, I usually tell people, when you want to go buy an animal, make sure you take maybe a bulling heifer or a heifer that is in calf. Don't take animal that has already calved. The reason is this, huh? You know, people are in business. Let's say, for example, me. When I know my animals are producing very well, there is no time that I'll get that motivation of maybe selling my animal. That's not being true, because once I know this is a good animal in my farm, possibility of me selling this animal is zero. So that means a lot of these animals, especially the calvers that have calved, a lot of them people sell because actually, yeah, I'm getting tired, huh? A lot of people sell these animals because they have issues, maybe reproductive health, where somebody has inseminated more than 3 times, because once he tries to inseminate again, when it catches pregnancy, that means when it conceives, he can sell that animal immediately because he wants to get rid of it. And I think people sell animals because of health problem. So make sure you see your animal very well so that you can take good animal. Another thing is about actually you have to confirm pregnancy status before buying a pregnant cow, yeah, because somebody can tell you that this animal is pregnant, yeah, because you can't justify that this animal is pregnant, you just go with that animal only to realize later that this animal was not pregnant. That's a bad thing, yeah. I've seen that happening. That's why I'm advising us to be very conscious enough while buying an animal, because you have to take the best to your farm so that you can, because this is a business, you have to take something best so that you can get a lot of profit. Actually, what I usually prefer cows that have calved around 2 to 4 times for balanced performance, yeah. When, if for example you want to take maybe a cow that because some people, because especially for those who take loan, they want to take those animals that are being milked, yeah. So when you take an animal that is being milked, make sure you don't take an animal that has calved more than 2 to 4, because at the end of the day, the bank will come knocking so that you can return their money. And that's why I advocate, get a breed that you can stay in your farm for a longer duration. Another thing is about age, yeah? Ideal, take animals that are let's say around 2 to around 5 years, yeah? 2nd or 4th lactation. And the reason I've already said about the reason, yeah, because you know, different people prefer different types of actually the animal. Another thing, avoid very old cows unless sold for specific short-term use. Maybe somebody can just get an animal that, because this, from the history of this animal, you saw it somewhere, you go take that animal, then you bring it to your farm so that you can have maybe one calf, then you dispose it. That's a good, because when you're disposing, it means you'll be disposing to the slaughter. So once you get the calf, make sure you dispose it so that it cannot hinder the growth of your family. Another thing is about temperament, yeah? Remember, we have some animals like Brahman that are very aggressive. So make sure you choose, like here you can see now I'm just passing through animals with no difficulties, with no anything. So that means these animals are docile, they are calm cows. Aggressive or nervous cow are harder to manage, and maybe they can produce less milk, because you know when an animal is very aggressive, yeah, stressing itself is very easy. So make sure when you're buying an animal, make sure that you don't take an animal that is very aggressive, because it can injure you or injure itself. By that means it will be a shorter thing, yeah. Another thing that I'm talking about, it will be about disease history. So when you're buying an animal, avoid cows with history of mastitis. Another disease that mastitis is the inflammation of the udder, where you see that there is inconsistency in terms of milk. You can see those movements behind there, just the animals are being milked. You can hear the milking machine it is actually milking. You can hear the vibration about the milking machine. That's why I'm out of there, so that to prevent that noise from the machine. So I was talking about disease history. So one of the diseases I've talked about mastitis. Another thing is about brucellosis. there is a disease that is called brucellosis, that is caused by Brucella species, like the Brucella abortus. Yeah, we usually have something like Brucella abortus. So because this disease, you can see, having it in your farm, you'll get a lot of challenges. One of it is about abortion cases. You'll be having a lot of abortion cases. An animal carries pregnancy, when it reaches certain months, it aborts. So that's the biggest challenge. Avoid those animals. Another thing is about foot and mouth disease. Yeah, make sure you vaccinate your animal against all vaccination that are being recommended by your government in where you are. Like in Kenya, we usually, farmers make sure that they have vaccinated the animals against foot and mouth. We have anthrax, we have lumpy skin. People usually, those 3 vaccines, people do, and black water. A lot of people do vaccination for those 4 diseases, yeah, because at least in terms of cost and the entire thing is appreciable. Another thing is, if possible, before you buy an animal, test for brucellosis and TB before purchasing that animal. You know, TB, remember, TB is a zoonotic disease. Yeah? It can be transmitted from the animal to human. So avoiding that thing, that TB, one of the symptoms for TB is having diarrhea. Yeah? We call it, how do we call it? The watery diarrhea. The animal just does diarrheaing that can pour from here until there, a longer distance. Yeah, that is one of the symptoms. And maybe it has persistent cough, it is just coughing. Another thing is very emaciated without responding to treatment. So that's how you can know that that animal has feeding. Just to remind people, yeah, remember to watch this clip to the end, even other videos, because I usually make a playlist. Every day I add a video so that I can achieve the watch time and we get monetized. Yeah, because I've started my YouTube channel a month ago, and now I'm educated farmers. We have already achieved the subscribers. The problem now we have is about watching hours. Make sure you watch. Yeah, and if you want to support too, you can just support, because you know, venturing in this whole teaching requires bundles, requires transportation, requires what? Yeah, there is that something that we call appreciation. Yeah, remember me, I'm just call myself that I'm gifted with this because I was somebody boy in this farm. Now I've just come here as a content creator just to create content so that my audience can get learned about it. So another thing that I'm going to talk about is feeding and management. Prefer cows raised under good feeding and hygiene condition. You know, once the animals are under good feeding and hygienic condition, that means you have achieved the biosecurity. Yeah? Biosecurity is just all measures that include making your animal good in terms of hygiene, preventing some of the diseases, maybe predators. So any incident can bring a disease to your farm. You have to prevent it before it causes harm to your livestock. Another thing is about, ask about the type of feed the cow is accustomed to. The reason why you should ask, yeah, because you know, especially for maybe the animals that are scavenging, once you bring them to your farm and you try maybe putting them in zero grazing, yeah, you'll get a lot of difficulties because they have really adapted to those grazing environment and the entire thing. For now, I can just talk that about how to select your animal for breeding. If you have just watched this clip to the end, make sure that you okay, if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. For those who have subscribed, make sure you like. Yeah, remember, when you like, it promotes your channel further and further. Then comment, because me, I'm always open. Yeah, just come up, you tell me that let's talk, let's the animal lover, just talk about this topic, because I really want to hear something about this topic, so that because it has been disturbing, irrespective of any topic, irrespective of any animal, even the horses, the goat, every other topic, as long as it's related to animals, even the dogs, just raise the topic so in the comment section, so that I can plan myself, discuss those topics, because somebody requested me to do a script on how to feed milkers, of which I'm going to do that. I'll have to do that so that I have to satisfy my audience. So just comment, share, so that others can get this skill And maybe when you want a good breed, I can okay, me, I usually tell people, because I know a lot of farms, I can maybe give you a contact. I can give you a contact person who you can contact when maybe you want to buy a breed of an animal, because I usually tell people to buy something that you know it will be profitable to your farm. For now, let me end my video there. Let's learn about animals. Thank you guys for listening till the end. Thank you guys. Let's meet some other day. Goodbye.